Anytime it says, we're testing new responses, which is better, number one or number two? I always tell it which one was worse.
Well, if ChatGPT can't do it, then what makes you think you could do it?
Well, it's still brought to you by Budweiser. It doesn't have to be. Sam Altman can get away with it, okay? He's the best looking guy in
The
town.
rays still cannot be broadcast together.
Wrong on both accounts. Wrong on all accounts. All accounts.
Hey, and welcome to the Dirty Data Show. I'm your host, Evan Wimpy, and this is episode number 2. That's right, number 2. That means we did not get canceled after episode 1. There's still some pending legal action following episode 1, but right now we're going to let the court settle it out, and we're going to disobey all our gag orders, and we're going to keep production going with episode number 2. This episode is brought to you by, Boatsain Hazy IPA. Yeah, don't know much about this. As a gift, here's the sign of a real friend. A real friend comes over to your house for a barbecue, brings a 6-pack of beer, drinks 3 of them, and then instead of taking the other 3 home with him, he leaves the 3 for you. So this is one of those 3. Boatswain Hazy IPA. Let's give a little disclaimer to our sponsor here. Boatswain beers are unique brews made in small batches. Our Hazy IPA is fragrant and rich with a creamy bitterness from the Mosaic, Ella, and citrus hops. How about that? Identifying the hops that are included. So thanks for this episode there. Boatswain Hazy IPA. Today, I've got one story that I want to talk about and ramble on a little bit about. Now, my one listener to episode 1 gave feedback to my one brain cell. He said, hey, why don't you learn how to pronounce stuff before you record an episode on it? Episode 1 was just full of mispronunciations, one being that word, but now I've got it. So this story, the story I want to talk about today, is with Fidji Simo. All right, how about that for pronunciation? That's probably not right, but it's not so bad, if I do say so my damn self. Fidji is background in tech, in product. She's worked at Meta for a long time. She built out the Facebook app, was responsible for their marketplace. She is the CEO of Instacart, the food ordering, food delivery app. And she has been a board member of OpenAI for a year or so. But just recently, Sam Altman, current CEO of OpenAI, has announced that Fidji is coming on board as the CEO of applications. Goodness gracious. Everybody wants a CEO title. She refuses to renounce her CEO-ness if she's going to leave Instacart. So she's still going to report directly to the actual CEO of OpenAI, which is Mr. Sam Altman, and her role will be the CEO of applications. So OpenAI has a few different pillars. They've got research. That's where the smart people work. Compute. That's where the other smart people work. And applications, which is where other smart people work. They're quite smart, I think, to work at OpenAI. Not passing judgment on Fidji. I don't really know if she's smart or not, but I do know that she has played a huge role in Meta's ads ecosystem and in the Instacart advertising ecosystem. She's a product person. She thinks about markets and she thinks about how to benefit from users. And yeah, it's great for OpenAI to be able to steal all our personal data and use it to further train their models, but further training models to get people to further pay for more models can only take you so far. You ever noticed uh, Google searches have a nice sponsored result that comes at the top? And you ever notice how OpenAI ChatGPT results have a just results that come to the top? I don't think so. Not anymore. Not with Fidji. This is all wild speculation on my part, but also the part of other wild speculators around the global internet. Is that ChatGPT and OpenAI are going to push for ads. They're going to be an ad-driven product. Unlike me, I would never succumb to advertising to help sustain my operations. Boy, that's a tasty hazy IPA. Boatswain. Pick it up at your local Joe's. I think actually this is from Trader Joe's. Perhaps you can order it on Instacart. I don't know. I don't even know if you can order beer on Instacart. Never even ever one time used Instacart. So maybe it's not fair for me to generalize to Fidji Simo's history at Instacart and generalize that out to OpenAI. But that's what we in data science like to do. We like to take our limited data and extrapolate to unknown use cases and use that to make predictions. And so my prediction is that ChatGPT is about to be filled with ads. That's a bit too strong. It's not going to be filled with ads. We're going to slowly start to see some advertisements. And where this makes sense, or where you see advertisements with social media or with a food delivery system or with Google and search results, we often have very discrete interactions. We have here's a query, and then here are results, number one, number two, number three, where OpenAI and ChatGPT, yeah, there's the discretization of the tokens within um, an input and an output. There's the discretization by sort of input chunk and output chunk. But from the user experience, it feels more free flowing. We're reading a narrative. Sometimes we're even listening to a narrative as ChatGPT talks to us in our car or on the phone or wherever we are. And so if they can sneakily bake in some advertisements, not even maybe it doesn't have to be sneaky, but if they can seamlessly bake in some advertisements, can you imagine asking for, what are things to do in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And it's hard to not serve up some specific product or service recommendation for some of these inputs. So why not serve them up as advertisements? Um, and that's precisely what ChatGPT is going to do, I suspect. Now, is there going to be a advertisement or sponsored block at the top of ChatGPT output that says sponsored at Gatlinburg, stay at the Holiday Inn Express, great rooms at affordable rates? Or is it just going to say, hey, Gatlinburg, Tennessee is, I should have chosen a different example. I'm kicking myself. I don't know shit about Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I would have liked to have chosen an example where I know something. But as I scroll through my Rolodex of cities and locations, despite being pretty well traveled, I don't know shit about any place on this earth. So uh, maybe Gatlinburg was as good a choice as any. You know what I'll do? I'll do some live chat GPT in here. Let's see. Chat GPT, no ads yet, as far as I can tell. You're just serviced by my $20 a month and by access to my data, which I try to poison your training data all the time. I'm giving you some bogus answers. Anytime it says, we're testing new responses, which is better, number one or number two? I always tell it which one was worse. This one was better. So just a few wrenches in their system there. I figure that ultimately I'm helping make their product more robust. Perhaps. All right, let's see. What's on your mind today, says ChatGPT. How about this? What are some interesting things to do in Gatlinburg, Tennessee? Let's give it some context. If you're good prompt engineering, or if you're not an engineer at all and you just want to be a better prompter without the engineering part, which is what I like to do, you give a little context. Let's see. I'm a bit of a booze hound and I like amateur sports. I've misspelled 3 words in this prompt so far, says the red squiggly line. Feel free to comment on this podcast and guess which words I've misspelled. All right. So here's my question to ChatGPT. What are some interesting things to do in Gatlinburg, Tennessee? I'm a bit of a booze hound and I like amateur sports. GPT is searching the web. If you're headed to Gatlinburg, oh, delightful mix of spirited distilleries and engaging amateur sports activities. Old Smoky Moonshine, Sugarlands Distilling Company, Smoky Mountain Brewery, Gatlinburg Brewing Company. Okay, great. We got some options for boozing it up. Amateur sports. We got Rocky Top Sports World. That sounds cool. 80-acre state-of-the-art sports complex, hosts a variety of tournaments and events year-round, including basketball, soccer, and volleyball. Local sports events, keep an eye on community calendars for things like the Gatlinburg Spring Classic Soccer Tournament and other regional competitions. Great. So this is a pretty common interaction that people have with ChatGPT is asking for recommendations, asking for tips. Let's say I'm a product manager and I'm asking for how to further develop something. And maybe there are external tools that are useful and it can ask me to check out this product or check out this tool or check out this subscription. That's just begging to be monetized with advertisements. And right now, as far as I can tell, there's none of that on OpenAI. But I suspect we're going to see it quite soon. Fidji Simo has the experience at very large scale doing this. OpenAI is hemorrhaging money. It just cost who knows how long for it to serve up these results to me, or who knows how much it cost. But for the $20 a month subscription that I pay, I think that's what I still pay. Who knows? They probably up it and I never notice because I'm a bit of a booze hound that enjoys amateur sports. But I think they're probably losing money even off of people like me. Um, so we'll see how the advertisements come to play. And being this the second episode of the Dirty Data Show, I'm following tradition. It's been said in 100% of the episodes thus far. And I need to give a prediction. And so here is my prediction. My prediction is that right now, if you ask Chat, well, this should be an easy prediction to verify because I could verify it immediately, or you, the listener, could verify it whenever you'd like. Right now, if you ask ChatGPT for good corporate entertainment for your data science team, that it will find predictable jokes, which is me and my comedy, and it will serve that to you as an option. My prediction is within 3 months, despite me having more reach and a bigger audience and more backlinks on the website, whatever it is, in 3 months you will no longer be able to do that because the advertising platform is going to subsume the small little individual corporate comedian like myself and serve up whatever big corporate comedy Inc. So that's my prediction. Let's see. Today is May 14th, and right now, actually, let's confirm it right now. Let's see. I might define my prediction right away. Okay. Thanks for the hot tips on Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Next, I'm a uh, data science manager in North Carolina, looking for a fun team event. Can you suggest something specific to me and my team that we'll enjoy? Only one misspelling. One misspelling. How about that? Pretty cool. A data themed escape room. Uh, what? AR VR Innovation Lab. Data Science Olympics. Yeah, it's not gonna suggest me at all. Let's see. How about let's really push it in the right direction. How about comedy? Anything nerdy for my team? Well, yes, comedy's a fantastic choice. Thanks, sycophant. Let's see. Nerd Night or Science on Tap comedy events? Oh no. Boy, my prediction has already not come true. ChatGPT, I just can't get it to suggest uh, da, 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 I've never even heard of these people that do data science, the nerdy comedy. Okay. All right. How about this? I am going to totally flip the script on my prediction, and 30 seconds of research has said now predictable jokes is going to blow up so big that when you come in and you prompt ChatGPT in 3 months from now, April 17th, that when you ask it for team event for your data science team that enjoys comedy, it's going to float predictable jokes. Okay. I get it. There's stochastic nature of this large language modeling that, just pure probabilities. We're not going to get it every single time, but out of 10 times, we're going to see it over half the time. Out of 100 times, we're going to see it half the time. Why did I even have to give a denominator? You don't need a denominator. That's why we have percentages, you know? Damn it, man. Half the time, over half the time, you're going to get predictable jokes, comedy for the data science, tech, and AI person by Evan Wimpy. That's what you're going to get. And it's mostly thanks to this podcast and listeners like you. So I appreciate you tuning in for episode number 2. Tune in next week, episode number 3. No promises, but how about another prediction? I'll have a guest. It won't just be me ranting and raving. There will be somebody else that I can rant and rave with. That's my plan. Thanks very much for joining me. This has been the Dirty Data Show. See you next time.